Heyo, so first I wanted to say a thank you for understanding last week's family emergency that I'm not going to go into detail about, but everything is fine for the most part. And I wanted to do an introduction to this, not just because of that, but I also kind of need a quick explanation for at least one specific thing. So without going into detail too much, the family emergency did result in a lot of anxiety in me. Like it was just probably one of the worst panic attacks and one of the worst situations that my family has been in recently. And when stuff like this happens, like one of the last times something like this happened was back in July, I tend to cower to my sketchbook for comfort. Like I don't want to sit at this desk and I don't want to work on like a big piece of paper. I usually just want to go in my sketchbook because I can just make my own silly little things, just do whatever I want, like that kind of stuff. Like my stuff that just makes me happy. But I did plan on this year on doing my take on HUEVEMBER, because as you know, I did do Inktober last month, and I've done Inktober previous years, but I've never done a HUEVEMBER. And if you don't know what HUEVEMBER is, I'll get to that in the voiceover. Oh, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, this was the start of my HUEVEMBER. I wanted to take my band AU from the first page in this sketchbook. I added thunder to the band, which is called Crop Circles, and this is a knockoff of Fall Out Boys Take This to Your Grave. I had a lot of fun with this, so I decided that I was going to keep going with the HUEVEMBER theme, and I have a whole list on my phone of like the hues and stuff I want. But after that family event, I kind of realized I didn't want to skip hues, I would say, because like this would have been done in my sketchbook, and then the next one would have been done on a piece of paper. So I'm going to keep my HUEVEMBER in my sketchbook, which is why I'm drawing it today. But then another part I'm going to talk about in the voiceover is that it's already drawn and inked and ready to go. I have to explain everything in the voiceover. For HUEVEMBER, I will be doing each hue or each color, monotone really, starting with blue and ending with teal or rainbow. It depends on how I want to end it. And I'm using my water-based markers, which I used here. And I have them all picked out here and in here. So I'm just going to jump into coloring this, and I will do my voiceover explanation after. Okay, so like I mentioned that I needed to recap in this voiceover is that the explanation for this HUEVEMBER thing, I didn't want that intro to be too long. So this is my first time ever actually doing the HUEVEMBER thing, and much like Inktober, I'm basically just making up my own rules. Because with Inktober, I just used the ink for the base, and then I went over with watercolor. Like, I'm making stuff up as I go. And I know people for HUEVEMBER, they will focus on one specific hue, like one specific paint tube or one specific Copic marker for each day for all 30 days. Yeah, no, I don't have enough time as a bakery associate who works 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sure, I'm part-time, but 2 of my days are spent grocery shopping, and then 1 is my recharge and my household chores and everything. So I'm taking each color of the rainbow with their secondary colors. Like I started with blue, so I can do this Take This to Your Grave knockoff with my alternate universe band AU for Vincent for his band Crop Circles. Wow, that was a mouthful. And then after, which is what you're seeing today, is the purple, because I'm going from blue, purple, pink, red, orange, yellow, green, and then teal. I think I'm going to stick with the teal. I was going to do rainbow, but I think I'm going to stick with the teal, so it's like a full circle kind of. And I decided to keep it in the sketchbook, not only so it's a chronological rainbow order, but I can get this challenge done much faster than I anticipated. Since I'm going to be doing everything in the book, I can take it to work with me. As you saw, I already sketched and inked this illustration at my job. I did the sketching in 1 hour lunch break, and then I finished it at my house the next morning. And then it did not take me long at all to ink it. Maybe like 1 lunch break, which is, I get an hour lunch break, so that's perfect. So I take my sketchbook with me every day, which is why I probably have no friends at work because of that, because all I do is sit in the break room, put my headphones in, listen to TX2, and sit and draw my sketchbook. So I'll take it to work, illustrate, ink, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm repeating the same point because I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so I can do my weekly reel for HUEVEMBER with one, and then I can do the Speedpaint in the other. And the way I'm doing this now is that with the sketching at work, it's getting done much faster, which means I can stay on track because I have OCD and ADHD. I cannot have 2 things going in the same sketchbook. Like I can't be inking on 1 page and then decide I want to start a new sketch and jump to the next one. That is not how it works for me. It does not get done that way. So work will definitely help me get ahead of that. And for this illustration specifically, it is Phoenix, my Hazbin Hotel Sinsona, as I'm my so-called Sinsona. I don't know what the actual name, because you have like Urksona for Invader Zim, you have Gemsona for Steven Universe, Impsona for Hell of a Boss, and I have not seen an official term for your Sona at Hazbin Hotel, so it is my Sinsona. How about that? And I picked Phoenix because her skin is purple because she's a demon. I made it purple because I wanted to. And she's based off of a cockatiel, so I know I can get that muted purple for the gray and everything, and I was like, perfect, let's go with that. The only thing is that the hair would have been purple instead of orange, but that's absolutely fine. Literally, Vincent's blue in the next page, okay? Like, Walter White walking in like, why are you blue? Pretty sure I also mentioned it that I'm using my water-based markers for these because A, I color with them faster, B, basic cell shading, easy peasy, and finishing these fast means that I will have more motivation to actually finish the challenge. And let me tell you, I do not have as many purple water-based markers as I thought I did. Like, I have enough, but when I dumped out my big box of water-based markers that I keep under my bed, and I was picking through them, I'm like, where the fuck are all my purples? I had more red violets and like pinky purples, but when it came to like the blue violets, I think I had like 3. I don't understand how that happened. I was able to layer different colors, make it work, and at first it was looking more pinkish, and then if you're looking at it like, ooh, that's really purpley pink, but then you step back and you're like, that's purple. Like, you know what I mean? It's purple, it's violet, it's good enough. It's not HUEVEMBER, it's monochrome-vember. That's meh. Phoenix herself came out very nice. It was a very cool tones. That's what I wanted. And then for the background, I looked up the scenery from Hazbin Hotel, and I specifically wanted the pride ring, and I tried to get an aerial view and I did not get it. I had like this weird side view, so I was trying to match up purples to that. So I know that the one left hand side, if you're looking at this illustration, is more blue purple. That's like where the V's tower is over there. The top part and this other bottom, they're really bright red, but I don't have, purple, bright red. So I just used a brightish pinky red violet, and then some more neutrals on the other sides. A cool blue violet for the spikes, because that's just what it looked like in the picture. And then the middle is also supposed to be like this bright, like on fire red. So I went with like a very red violet. And then the wings and hair, I thought I had more glitter pens. Yeah, they're all duplicates. So I had to layer them and blend them together. I actually ended up using this Zebra Kira Rich. It's a glitter highlighter, and I blended that with this brand ink glitter marker for the hair, and then I used the dark part of the hair, which is that ink pen, as the light part for the wings, because the wings are supposed to be like a darker red, and it looks good. They're like paint pens, so you can't really blend them that well. So I was like, all right, you know what? Good, it's good enough for what it is. I like it. And what I'm gonna like more is, as I'm doing this, I'm gonna be able to go from blue to teal. And I know it's like a weird place to start with the blue, but like I said, I wanted to do the take this to your grave thing. But I'm gonna be doing weekly recaps in the beginning of each one, like each video, so you can see the blue, the purple, then up next I'm going to do pink, and then it's red. It's gonna go. It's gonna be nice. And what's also nice is that this is going to take 8 pages of the sketchbook, which this is a Bailey J sketchbook. You saw the beginning, it was the purple witch hat one. There's like 61 pages in here, so that's like a 10th of these pages gone. And I'm gonna feel so proud of myself to finish a 10th of this sketchbook in a month. Like, oh my god. Last year I was super slow with filling my sketchbook, so this should speed up the process. Just even by like 4 weeks, technically, it's gonna speed it up. Yeah, technically by 4 weeks I'm speeding up this process of filling the sketchbook, and I am so down for it. And can I just talk about, like, I love Bailey J, that she is my absolute favorite artist of all time. If you saw my room tour, you know that I have every single one of her prints she's ever put out, most of them signed. I have 2 of her diamond art paintings. I have her limited edition vinyl print of Kiki and Minna. I have almost all of her pins. I hang up all of her thank you cards. I keep her pins and charms. I use her washi tapes. I freaking love her. I have every single one of her sketchbook. Might be a little obsessed, but that's okay. She is my absolute favorite artist. I am not sponsored by Bailey J, but oof, love her stuff. And her sketchbook, this did not bleed through. Like, I've had sketchbooks where a gel pen has bled through to the other side. So all of my old sketchbooks, I always put a piece of swatch paper behind the paper I was currently working on to catch any bleed. And you see me peeking at this paper every so often to see if it bled through. And every single time I look, I'm like, oh, it didn't bleed through yet. I did put some under just in case, because for Phoenix's boots, I was getting a little like deep into the paper with the ink. But I used those glitter markers, which are they're sticky after a while. I flooded the paper a little bit by mistake. I flipped it over to see, and there wasn't a single bleed through on that paper. Are you joking me? This is incredible. I love this sketchbook. I take it with me everywhere, and I freaking love filling it up. It's so fun. Oh, I love her stuff. I really, really do. She is a small business, and I'm a small business, and she inspired me heavily to start mine, which if you would like to support my small business, my link to my Etsy is down below, and to keep up with my Instagram to see when there's any, maybe there's a really, really big Black Friday sale coming up really soon. It's only going to be announced on Instagram Instagram in a few weeks. Should totally check that out too. That's also down below. Here's one last look of Phoenix. I love the way she came out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week with the color red. And if I go on Instagram, you will see the color pink.